everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you could call me Grizzer. A lot of people do. And this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and the tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the National Football League. That is, of course, the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. And all of you, get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. Now, coming up on today's show, my worst nightmare has come to fruition. Jim Schwartz is hitting the interview trail. Going to talk to Baltimore about their head coaching vacancy. Told you, man. Someone's going to come calling. Someone's going to want them. And it's the Ravens. They've requested permission to talk to Jim. Hopefully the Schwartz won't be with them. We have to keep the Schwartz with us. And then we'll find out in the next day or two if John Harbaugh is going to talk to us. Meanwhile, we've also requested permission to talk to Jaguars offensive coordinator Grant Udinski, who just turned 30 years old. All of that going on. On top of that, we have even more proof that Dillon Gabriel was given every chance to succeed when he was under center as QB1, and guess what? He still stunk. Also ahead, we got a lot to work through. We know now, thanks to the Jaguars, where the Browns will be picking with that second pick of the first round during the draft in April. The question is, who can we expect to be there? There's some irony that comes with the team that I think the Browns need to emulate this offseason. And then down in the viewer comments, the type of coach the Browns absolutely must get in this process. But first things first, grading Dillon Gabriel. My guy, Lance Riesland, who breaks down the film and things for Cleveland.com. He and I call high school playoff games together for Spectrum. But Lance sent me this thing, man, and you got to find it on Cleveland.com today. He's grading our quarterbacks, and he did Dillon Gabriel first. He will do Shador, and you better bet your delightful Danishes that we will be comparing the two of them when the numbers on Shador comes up. But we have Dillon Gabriel today, and one of the things, so he graded 5 different things. We'll get to that in a minute, but I want to give you the context first. And he explained that Dillon Gabriel, his skill set aligned naturally with what Kevin Stefanski wanted to do offensively, especially on early downs. He said Gabriel was most comfortable throwing from multiple launch points, which fit the early down play action boot game where the offense was built around straightforward adjustments and layered level concepts. So layers. So you got three. You got deep, middle, and short. He said those concepts allowed Gabriel to read high to low. So deep, which he couldn't throw deep anyway. Stay on schedule and deliver the football on time without needing a perfectly clean pocket. Now, what you're going to hear, like when this goes hand in hand with what Leah found. Leah Caminero, who did the breakdown. Camarano, I always mix it up. Leah Camarano, who did her breakdown, and we walked through that last week. These two independent studies kind of work hand in hand because this is what Lance goes on to say, and then we'll get to the grades. Lance goes on to say Stefanski also leaned heavily on 12 and 13 personnel to dictate defensive responses, create favorable matchups, and simplify the quarterback's decision-making. The heavier groupings forced defenses to declare coverage and personnel, allowing Gabriel to identify defensive leverage before the snap, find the best matchup after the snap, and get the ball out quickly. And then Lance graded on a 1 to 10 scale these 5 characteristics. Measurables and functional skill set, impact and leadership, pre-snap, post-snap processing, anticipation and accuracy, pocket management. And you can see right there, 6 out of 10 for measurables, 4 out of 10 on impact, pre-snap, 6 out of 10 anticipation and accuracy, 5 out of 10 for both anticipation, accuracy, and then pocket management. Don't mind the misspelling. And then 26 out of 50 was his total score. 26 out of 50. Lance said, Gabriel's grade reflects a quarterback who can function in the NFL, but one who is not yet capable of driving a franchise. He shows strengths, but does not consistently elevate the players around him or change the feel of a game when things break down. When the protection fails or the windows tighten, the offense often settles instead of surging. From Lance Reisland, who breaks the film down for Cleveland.com. That was his assessment of Dillon Gabriel. Why Kevin Stefanski took Dillon Gabriel in the third round, the world may never know. The world may never know how many licks it takes to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop. And the world will also never know why Kevin Stefanski felt the need to take Dillon Gabriel in the third round of the draft last year. Unbelievable. But then the second part of this is how Lance's findings back up what Leah found about setting Gabriel up to win with the protection and the 12 and 13 personnel and all the, like, she said it. Now Lance is saying it. I don't know, man. There was so much sketchiness going on with Stefanski last year. Very, very strange. So, but Dillon Gabriel in the third round, man, that is an unsolved mystery. We got to get to the bottom of that. We need a 30 for 30. Now, taking Dillon Gabriel in the third round, bad choice. But we will have 2 picks in the first round. We'll have the 6th, we'll have ours. And then we'll have the 24th. We found that out after New England beat the Chargers on Sunday night. We found out we were picking 24. But the question is, that's great. It's like, but okay, who can we expect to be there? And I'm going to tell you, I was a little surprised. We should be able to get 2 players to satisfy 2 very big needs that we have with our 6th pick and our 24th pick. Or, I mean, if you go Andrew Berry style, who knows? He may trade back from 6 to like 8 or 10 and get something else or something. And then even still, if you're picking between like 10 and 24, not so bad. But here we go. Let's take a look at. I did offensive tackles first because Lord knows we need them. And here's the list of potential. Now remember, anything can happen. Shedeur fell to the 5th round. But as we're sitting here today, 4 months out, these are some of the names, the left tackles that you could get. This is at 24. Here you go. Right out of the gate, Caden Proctor. He could be there at 24. The left tackle from Alabama who catches screen passes. And there's Gooseby from Texas. There's Lomu. They're saying Lomu's going to fall to 24. Sign me up for that. If you got Fano at 6 and then came back and you got the bookend, there's nothing wrong with that. Although I really want Carnell Tate. Carter Smith, the offensive tackle from Indiana. I mean, they're only about to win the national championship. Monroe Freeling from Georgia. I like SEC linemen. They're athletic. Caleb Tiernan from Northwestern. There's Gennings Dunker. Remember, we talked about him. The Iowa guy who plays tackle, but they said, everybody's saying that he's going to play guard in the pros. And so we talked about him before. So plenty of linemen one of these guys is going to be around at 24. That's going to be great. And then here are some other prospects that potentially could be there at 24. Look at the USC receiver, Mekhi Lemon. C.J. Allen, a linebacker from Georgia. There's Caden McDaniel from Ohio State. Another offensive tackle there, the dude from Arizona State. Ian Aker. Jordan Tyson, that wide receiver from Arizona State. People love to bring him up too. So you could go, if you go Fano in the 6, you might be able to get one of these 2 guys. Although I love Carnell Tate. The guy doesn't drop anything. He's the new JSN. And then you got Messidor, the edge from Miami, if you're interested in that. And we're not interested in any of that. But wide receivers and tackles and linemen, there are going to be plenty of them in this draft at 24. So between 6 and 24. And then that's what I'm saying with these offensive linemen. Everything I've looked at, you're going to be able to go into the second and even into the third round and find quality offensive linemen in this draft. I mean, they're going to be there for the taking. So, and you know how Barry is. He loves to trade back. But I don't know. He may just stick to it and just take the best players that are available. But man, oh man, I was pleasantly surprised to see that type of talent down there at 24. It's very possible, the way, depending on how this draft goes. Very possible. Like we're sitting in a good spot. So not only because of that, the draft picks, but because of the free agency money that we have. And in this offseason, got me thinking. Watching that game on Sunday night, I'm like, man, oh man, if there's ever a team the Browns should mimic in an offseason, it's the New England Patriots. And there's some irony involved because Mike Vrabel was in our building last year, and he could have been our coach this year. And who knows what could have happened. Could we have been the team with the... So the Browns had the most snaps by rookies this season. New England, they were like fourth. They're not that far off the list. They hit on all their draft picks, and they played a ton too. And Drake May he ramped up into his rookie year last year, and he didn't play full season last year. And look at him now in year 2, just tearing it up. Kind of like, he's kind of on the Shador schedule. Good coach, right? But that's all. Like, that's only part of the reason. Like, we should emulate the New England Patriots in this offseason. Take a look at this, man. Look at the free agent signings they got. Carlton Davis III, Robert Spillane, Morgan Moses. They had Milton Williams. I forgot about him. He's not on the list. Diggs, of course, who when they signed him, I was like, ooh, I don't know. But, I mean, he's been pretty good up until the end of the season. He had some issues off the field. Harold Landry III, that edge rusher. And then look at the draft. Will Campbell, Henderson, Woodson, and Wilson. Look at Campbell and Wilson, a guard and a tackle. That's their whole one side of the line. Rookies, playing, dominating, doing their thing. And look what happened with New England. They are rolling and heading to the second round of the playoffs. 14-3 regular season. So what New England did to their offense this year, because half the team, what did I see? Half the team starters against the Chargers the other night weren't even on the team last year. That's how this Browns offense has to look, going into next year, man. Like, probably more than half. We've got some free agents we got to deal with that, who knows if they're coming back, Batonio, Teb Jenkins. I think you got to get Teb Jenkins back. Teller, Pochik, you got people that you have to wonder about who are decent. I don't think they're paying Pochik, though. Pochik's going to want too much. But we have that cap space now, so it remains to be seen who else we can get in here among the free agents. Remember Lindenbaum from Baltimore? There are some linemen that are out there that you might be able to get to come over here. So what if, especially if it worked out where Harbaugh ends up being the coach here, would Lindenbaum want to follow him over here? I don't know. But man, oh man, what New England did in one off season. And we already told you the worst, the first thing. Remember, we did the worst, the first thing, So the Browns are in a spot, man. We are in a spot. And Pittsburgh's already talking about bringing back Aaron Rodgers next year to be their quarterback. That's fine by me. It's fine. But at some point, they're going to have to get a quarterback, get a younger quarterback, do something. I could see them signing, like going out and getting Malik Willis or something I could see them doing that. But they're already talking about it. Maybe keeping Aaron around. So, but man, oh man, what New England has done in just 1 year. And God, Vrabel was in our building. Vrabel was in our building. Like literally every day last year. Unbelievable. Only in Cleveland does this happen. Only on this show do you get viewer comments? And we will start today with Lone Wolf 0482, who might be hoping the Ravens go ahead and make Jim Schwartz their head coach, because Lone Wolf 0482 says Jim Schwartz's career head coaching record is 29-52 with a more talented team. I don't want to see it. The only thing I'll say about that, Lone Wolf, is that was his first head coaching job. I love guys on their second head coaching job, especially when they've been away from it and went back to being a coordinator or something. Not like working in a studio or something. They're still involved. They're still like guys respond to them. There's so much more to Jim Schwartz head coach opportunity this time than the last time. That's why I don't want a first-time head coach. If we can, we got to avoid that. I don't want a guy learning on the job. Not here, not now. Not with the young quarterback and so many young guys, all the rookies from last year. You need a veteran who knows how to handle all this. You don't need a rookie trying to coach all these rookies that are going to be on offense, and we're going to need to make to become impact players right away. We're going to need the guys we draft to play like the guys we drafted this year on the defense. I mean, it's got to be the same, So that's the difference, Lone Wolf. I'm not hating the Schwartz idea. But now that he's talking to other teams, look out. Queasy 519. Miami coach would be good for Cleveland quarterbacks. Yeah, if he was the OC. I don't want him to be our head coach, Mike McDaniel. I don't. I think it's Thursday we're talking to him. He's not a leader of men. This is Stefanski 2.0. We need a dog, man. We need a guy. Speaking of which, Minnesota Nate sums it up perfect. This is what we teased at the top. This is the type of coach we need. Minnesota Nate. He starts by saying the top of the Browns is broken. He's saying, like Andrew Berry and all those guys, they need a reorganization 100%. As for coach, we need a leader of men. Smart dudes are overrated. We need a Mike Vrabel or the coach from Philly. A coach that will get in a dude's a blank blank. He put $. I don't think he's talking about money. But he's saying get a coach that'll get in dudes' faces. Forget this gentle coach BS. I 100% agree, man. You need a guy. That's why, like Sirianni getting in A.J. Brown's face the other day, I was like, man, I right away was like, what is A.J. Brown doing? And then what does he do? He goes out there and drops the ball in the most critical time of the game. Like, keep your pie hole shut and perform, A.J. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened with him, man. But yeah, so, you can't be yelling at your head coach on the sideline like that. And good for Sirianni, man. And then Sirianni always takes the high road. Didn't you see that video of A.J. Brown making a face at Sirianni? He was like, what? Why? Why are you doing that? What is the deal, man? So, if Sirianni's there next year, A.J. Brown won't be there. A.J. Brown, they will ship him out of town because Sirianni won't put up with that. Soda Pop Dave chiming in today says, although you're keeping Barry shows that, he says, although keeping Barry shows you, they still don't get it. He says, no quarterback in 40 years, unreal, but Gabriel, he's the savior. So, yeah, I mean, and if you're going back to Lance's findings, Lance Reisland, what we just went over, yeah, I mean, Gabriel is so far from it. It's not even, it is not even close. But we all knew that. We live in Big Ten country. We've seen him play Ohio State multiple times. We knew. How did Stefanski? How? And now we've got Lance's... along with Lance and Leah, the L squared data that proves it all. So, and we will end today with African 1939, who says, personally, I like the idea of Schwartz as head coach and Reese as offensive coordinator. I believe in promotion from within. Both are familiar with what Shador went through that got Stefanski fired, and the players are familiar with both and seem to be loyal to both, meaning Schwartz and Shador. However, Reese needs to pay attention to what makes Shador great and scheme around his strengths while hiding his weaknesses that he will work on improving. Finally, all of these people are currently on the staff. We will enjoy a promotion and a pay raise. Got to find another competent DC to replace Schwartz, but that shouldn't be a big problem. Let's see if the Browns owner sees the wisdom of promoting from within. Shalom, family. African, 1939. That is the best way to sum up why, and this is what I kind of alluded to yesterday. Is this the best route to go? And then African 1939, who's way more articulate than I am, really put it into words. And that's where I see the value in this, because everybody's on the same page, right? And like we talked about yesterday, a viewer comment that kind of sparked that topic yesterday, like bringing somebody new, detached from the situation. I don't know if that helps the situation. I don't know. That's why I'm leaning more towards minimally invasive. But Schwartz talking to the Ravens now, that's going to. I don't know. If I had to 100% give you an answer today, right now, right this second, I almost feel like the Browns are just letting everything play out, and this is going to end up where we should have just started in the first place, with Schwartz as head coach and Reese as offensive coordinator, because of what African 1939 is saying. Everybody knows the situation. All the guys on defense love Schwartz. I do think it would. Schwartz knows who knows his defense. He just finds one of his disciples to run the defense on the day-to-day, and he's still right there. He's still overseeing it, but he gets to oversee the whole team. And Reese, he's supposed to be the wonder kid, man. And I do think he was held back tremendously by Kevin Stefanski's playbook. And I do think that Kevin Stefanski was 100% involved in the play calling, even though he did say, I'm turning the play calling over to Tommy. Until proven otherwise, that's what I think was going on. Because Stefanski said it himself. That's why what was going on. So, African 1939, great take, man. That was really awesome. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'll throw little things in the comments as things happen, but we'll just keep working through this. So we got to get through some of these other new candidates too and break them down. We need some profiles on these guys because, man, Schneelhouse and Udinski, although I like the ski, I like the SKI at the end of the name. It's a good touch. Like, man, oh man, this guy just turned 30 years old. What are we doing? Were the preschools closed yesterday? Is that why we could only get Udinski on the list? For the love of God, we're getting younger and younger. We're trying to find Doogie Howser of the NFL now. Anyway, all right, that's gonna do it for today's show. Go Browns! We will see you next time.